Hello, divine man. Hello, divine woman. And welcome to the safe space. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And before we get started, if you have not already, please like this video if the content resonates with you. Please share it with anybody you feel needs to hear it. And go ahead and subscribe to stay up to date and tuned in for new videos and announcements coming out regarding Ashley Pie, the YouTube channel, Empress Energy, and Eugene Consulting Inc. Because, yes, baby, my new business is officially up. Today I wanted to talk about let it flow. And let it flow in the sense of just life. So the last two chapters, we talked about overthinking and how it can cause us to miss out on opportunities. But now let's talk about the other side. How do we prevent overthinking? Or how do we fight anxiety and depression and all these other mental health issues? And from personal experience, I will say one of the best tools that I know is to let it flow. And letting it flow doesn't mean just sit there and let life beat you up. But it's about breathing. It's about meditating. It's about acknowledging the emotions that come up and just letting them go, right? Every thought that comes to your mind, you don't have to address each and every one of them. Some of them are just coming and going. They're fleeting, right? So think about a tourist and like a Love's gas station. At the Love's gas station, there's a specific amount of people that works there, right? These are the people that keep the store running and open and ready for guests. When the tourists come in, they do what they need to do. They get their rest, they get their food, whatever they need, they get their gas, and then they're gone. Truck drivers are the same way. Some of them stay a little longer just to get a nap in because, hey, they're driving across the country. And then once they get their showers, once they get whatever they need, they also go. The only people that are really there are the employees and owners and managers. But even with them, they have a time limit. They're going to be there for the time that they're supposed to be there. And then they're going to go, right? Come and go, come and go. Everybody's staying a little longer in certain cases, but it's always come and go. Now, let's go back to the tourist. The tourist comes, gets what they need. If they need a shower, they need a shower. If they need a nap, they need a nap. Whatever they need, they get it at the Love's gas station. Then they keep it moving. By the way, this video was not sponsored by Love's. This is just an example. So let's say rather than leaving when that tourist comes, the tourist sets up camp. And that sounds crazy, right? Like, who sets up camp at a gas station? You set up camp, right? Imagine putting a whole tent in the grass next to a gas station and just staying there for as long as possible. Or setting up your RV and staying there for like a month. This is crazy, right? That's the same way with those thoughts, those intrusive thoughts. When they come, we gotta let them go. Don't stay there and dwell on them. And I'm speaking from experience now. Do not dwell on those thoughts because those are the thoughts that's going to lead to overthinking. Those are the thoughts that are going to lead to creating stories. And that does not allow us to show up more in the present or the future. And so when it comes to letting it go, letting it flow, we're getting into frozen here. When those thoughts come, acknowledge them. Oh, hello. How you doing? Goodbye. Don't give them a second thought. Because again, you listen to that thought. You start to process that thought. You let it get you let it set roots. You let it put the tent with the stakes in the foundation. And now you have this thought that is starting to fester like mucinex or the bacteria that stays away from that the Mucinex commercial. If you know, you know. We don't want that to happen, right? We want to make sure that we have our clean slate. So when those thoughts come, acknowledge them. Thank you for showing up, but it's time for you to go. Kick them out the door, because in the long run, and oh my gosh, there is so much stigma around this when it comes to men and women. Talking about she was doing this and that, and I didn't even know what's going on. Women blowing, making scenes because she had a dream that he was cheating on her or something. Oh, so there's a stigma about it when it comes to women. But we ain't talking about that. We ain't nobody got time for that. We gonna address that. So when those thoughts come, the dreams too, when it comes, acknowledge it, right? Thank you for being here today. I appreciate the lesson that you have brought forth to me, but you can go now. So you have that option versus you said, what now? Oh, for real, for real. And you start creating these stories, and then your perception starts changing on stuff. Your heart starts to close, and next thing you know, you're just looking straight ahead. Your chakras are getting imbalanced because of how this thought makes you feel. And then you start, like connections start getting messed up, and people just, listen, you ever heard it's better to experience a little pain now than in the future? Right? Like it's better to acknowledge something now that isn't working now rather than wait until it has, grown and then cut it off then. So like the boundaries in dating, for example, you start talking to somebody, and if you acknowledge characteristics or behaviors within this individual that you do not like, you would, or you should, at that point, to let that person know, like, hey, you're not my cup of tea, or I don't think we should take this any further, versus you acknowledge this and you're like, you know what? I think he's cute, so I'm going to just keep it going. Like there's people that will stick around when they see numerous red flags. And that's basically kind of what I'm trying to get at, right? Where you get those thoughts, and those thoughts are red flags. Like, okay, for example, I'm talking to somebody and everything is going awesome. We have our differences, but that is something we're working through. And then, but we're like completely transparent with each other. Things are good. Things, we're working things out. We have agreed that we're gonna put time into this connection, right? So boom, that's an example. Things are going good within the connection. We're making things happen. We have decided we're gonna make this work. And then next thing you know, a thought comes up, right? What if he got a secret girlfriend? What if he got a secret wife? What if he got a whole family and you don't know about it? Right? Mind you, this is an example. I'm not talking legit. I'm just I'm just giving an example. Well, we're not gonna dive into that. So, okay, right? Things are going good in this example. And then you get the secret, this idea, this thought. What if he has a secret family that I don't know about, and he's trying to make me like a side check or something, right? Mind you, the connection is going good. You have decided you're going to be completely transparent with each other and genuine and vulnerable and everything. But then you get this thought, and then you start festering on this thought. What is your mind going to do? Your mind is now searching for biased confirmations, which is actually a principle in life, and looking at small things that confirm this bias, this thought, right? Up until this moment, you have not had anything to affirm any belief of whatever, but now you have this thought, you've allowed it to fester, and so now your perception has switched a little bit, and now your mind is subconsciously looking for confirmations of this. And so the individual may have business and is unable to is unable to show up some night, knowing that this person is consistent, but a business meeting ran late or something happens with business and they can't be there. The thought, regardless, even though y'all have decided to be transparent and genuine and vulnerable with each other, you're like, yo, Like, oh, for real? So now you can't see me now? You finna be dealing with somebody else? Or you gotta take care of your family? And then from the other person's perspective, it's like, what are you talking about? Right? So I'm trying to get this example right. Basically, something that you had that's been going so good because you had one thought that festered. You have now switched your perception, your perspective to a biased perception where now things that happen, and it could be one-off situations, when that starts to happen, you now start to get this confirmation of something that's not even real, right? Like the example I just gave you, and so many other things. And it's like, yo, like something so good has now started going so wrong because one thought festered, the wrong thought festered, and we have given it more power than it needs to have. And then before you know it, you look back and you're like, what the heck happened? Things were so good. When in all honesty, all you needed to do was let go of that thought, right? Welcome it in. No, open the door, say hello, acknowledge the lessons, and kick it out. Not even letting it in the door. But then now, an opportunity has been missed because of the overthinking. But it's not too late. It is not too late. The moment you catch yourself doing this, please, please, please allow yourself to acknowledge what is real versus what is fake. Do your pros, do your cons, do your SWOT analysis. Be open enough to address it with whoever is involved in whatever it is. Don't let the stories your mind give you take over. And with that, I also want to stress the importance of having outlets, because we are all creative in one way or another. We all have some type of creative juices. And if we don't allow for an outlet, it's going to find an outlet. And that shows up with those thoughts. That shows up in so many different ways. So you can be busy, but still not have an outlet. So find something that allows you to express yourself, to kind of put you in a state of being tired mentally. Think about a dog, right? If you have a dog, the goal is to make your dog tired, so when they get home, they're like sleeping for the most part. At least that's what it was for me, eventually. It's the same type of thing, right? You don't want to keep yourself busy, so by the time you get home, you're tired, unless that's what works for you. But you want to have an outlet where you can express yourself. And by being able to express yourself, you're able to, get all those creative juices flowing, which can create numerous opportunities, but it also helps you not get or reduce the likelihood of you getting those intrusive thoughts that can wreck a whole village. And that is really what I wanted to say. So I hope you enjoyed my little example. We want to make sure that we're staying on top of our mind, because the mind is literally what can affect your life. It affects your life. Whatever you allow into your mind, that is going to determine how your life is going to go. And I can speak from personal experience when I say, I think I'm high with that. I think I'm going to focus on my mindset and make sure that I keep my perceptions, my perspectives light and pure and ready for opportunities, rather than taking my limited experience and those creative intrusive thoughts that tend to come in to affect my future. And then also just breathing through it, right? Just taking a deep breath in, taking a deep breath out, accepting the lessons that come with those thoughts and those patterns, and then just letting them go. I highly recommend meditating if you don't, to help with quieting your mind, helping you acknowledge your voice versus the voices of other people. Because as you do that, you start to heal parts of you that you never even knew needed healing, while also creating that outlet for you to express yourself, which leads to having a more fulfilled life. So, thank you so much for listening this far. I am absolutely grateful that you took some time out of your day to spend it with me. If this content resonated or helped you in any way, please feel free to like this video, share with anybody you feel may benefit from this message, and also subscribe to stay tuned in for future videos and updates regarding myself or my businesses, or even Bentley, which is my dog, if you didn't know. I hope you have a great day on purpose, and I'll see you next time.